Wow, as they say in Italian, Diano. You're too kind, David, that introduction, and Alan Tisch and David Edelman and Ellie, you're all, wow, you're the ones doing the wonderful work, but I hope I'm not gonna bore you or tire you out now, but thank you for that warm introduction and reception. And I want you to know that I'm truly honored to be with you here tonight to support the incredible work of United Hatzalah and really to share our joint mission of building bridges and standing together regardless of our race, religion, or sexual orientation. And Ellie, thanks to you and your team for involving me here tonight. I don't know how you got all that other film, but I also want to recognize my wife, who's been very supportive, Dana, and my son Daniel, and my granddaughters, Allie and Anna. So they have to listen to this too. They've heard it before, but I'm honored to have them here with you, and also my good friend Ambassador Oren, who came from overseas. So that's pretty cool. So as was said in the film, I had the experience of visiting United Hatzalah when I was in Jerusalem last year. And I saw how in real time United Hatzalah was able to use technology and innovation to respond faster and more effectively to emergencies across Israel and saving lives every single day. And after I witnessed that, I looked at Ellie's warm and inviting punim, and I did something I really do so quickly. I made $1 million commitment to support United Hatzalah on the spot. And while we've been fortunate to support many incredible organizations over the years, that's not the way my family usually does it. Usually we do our research, we do due diligence, and we have a very thoughtful and deliberative process. But I've never seen anything that captures you so quickly, and you saw it on the stage tonight here. And so that's the reason I was moved to make a gift like that so fast, and I know it's the reason that you're all here. You're supporting something really special. But I want to put my family's support of United Hatzalah in two broader contexts. One, the Haftorah for my bar mitzvah portion, B'halotcha, which happens to be the Pasha for this coming Shabbat. I don't know if you guys worked that out or not. But, and the second is our foundation to combat anti-Semitism, which really is standing up to all forms of hate. Many decades ago, at Killeth Israel in Brookline, Massachusetts, where my dad, Oliver Sholem, Harry Kraft, was a beloved teacher and role model, I chanted the Haftorah from the prophet Zechariah at my bar mitzvah. There are two famous passages in this portion. The first is the opening line, Rani v'simchi b'asiyon, ki hineni va v'shotachti b'tochech l'umar Hashem. Yeah, it's a few years ago, but it's there. And what does it really mean, that line? Shout for joy. Shout for joy. And that line has stayed with me throughout my life, Rani v'simchi. But only as an adult did I come to realize how hard it is to shout for joy. How did we how do we shout for joy when our society is so fractured? How do we shout for joy when there's so much divisiveness? And how do we shout for joy when there's so much hatred going on? I've been very fortunate in my life to live the American dream. I attended Columbia College and Harvard Business School on full scholarship. I didn't even own my own car until I was 25. So because of that, I believe anything is possible in this country that I love so much because I was able to do it. And so I've tried to focus on ensuring that as many people as possible are able to do the same. I've tried to help underrepresented groups who need a voice. Because they cannot speak for themselves, they cannot shout for joy. And I'm often asked, why did you start the Blue Square campaign? What is the origin of the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism? And the answer is, I looked around at the fracture, at the divisiveness, at the hate, and I felt like this country, that I still believe is the greatest country in the world, was beginning to look a lot like Germany in the late 30s. We're seeing neo-Nazis raising swastikas and demonstrating, saying, Sieg Heil, down with the Jews. This is the United States of America in 2023. There's no room for hate of that kind or any kind. And I realized that if I want to try to ensure that our future does not look like the 1940s, we all have to collectively do something. And that thing that we must do was anticipated by the other famous passage of Zechariah near the end of my Haftorah. Lo b'chayil, lo b'koach, ki im bruchi Amar Hashem Tzvaot. Not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit, said the Lord of hosts. To me, this passage is an answer to the challenge of the first words of my Haftorah, shout for joy, fear Zion. But how are we supposed to shout for joy? The world today is not a joyful place. The answer is not by might, not by power, but by God's Spirit. And what I interpret this to mean is the way we change history, the way we change the tone and tenor of society from sadness to joy is by changing the human heart through education and awareness. It does not happen overnight. You listen, you learn, you engage in real dialogue. You talk about ideas and ideals, and you appeal to the best in people. You do that one person at a time, one organization at a time, and you continue to grow, just like United Hatzalah. So in 2019, I started the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism, as you saw when I was honored with the Genesis Prize. I knew at the time that I wanted to fight the growing hatreds towards Jews and other minority groups across the country. Through our organization's command center, we are able to monitor more than 350 million websites and pieces of data to better synthesize what hate looks like online and share that information with our partners so we can fight and combat it together. We are partnering with all the sports leagues, with the NAACP, with the AFL-CIO, as well as influencers with hundreds of millions of followers on Instagram that were not previously educated to the hate and rhetoric Jewish people are now facing. Let me give you an example. Over the years, I've developed a real friendship with the rapper Meek Mill. People don't believe it, but check it out. He's a great guy. And recently, I was asked to lead the March of the Living in Poland, walking between Auschwitz to Birkenau with 10,000 people, where I was honored to light the first of 6 torches to commemorate the 6 million Jews who were killed in the Holocaust. I invited Meek to come with us. You know, there had been a lot of noise of Holocaust denial in the recent past, and I wanted him to see personally the atrocities and hopefully bring back that message to his community. I wanted him to see for himself in Auschwitz. He went to a room that still had the hair of 46,000 Jewish women whose hair had been shaved off at the camp. In another room, he saw floor-to-ceiling stacks of baby shoes of thousands of Jewish children that had been murdered. Meek turned to me and said with a tear in his eye, "Robert, I never thought I would see anything worse than the ghetto in North Philadelphia where I grew up, but this is worse. You changed the human heart one person at a time. That is the idea of the Stand Up to Jewish Hate and the Blue Square campaign." The blue square embodies Zechariah's words. It's not mighty, it's not big, but it's powerful because it's ruach, it's spiritual. As you saw in our ad, Jews make up a little over 2% of the American population, and yet we receive 55% of the religious hate. The blue square serves as a symbol of unity and solidarity, an easy way for all Americans to show their commitment to standing with the Jewish community and standing up to all Jewish hate. And since the blue square has rolled out, it has appealed to the goodness and decency of countless people who want to fight hate regardless of whether they are Jewish or not. One of the leading banks in this country has given us an 8-figure commitment. Prominent business leaders, both Jews and non-Jews, have given multiple 7-figure gifts. But in addition to these gifts, our website, which was launched only 2 months ago, has received over 7,500 unsolicited gifts for $10, for $18, for $36. Ordinary citizens of all backgrounds who want to fight hate and do good, and it really has been touching. And it's clear we've touched a nerve. These people want to stand with us to fight hate against Jews, to fight hate against people of color, to fight hate against Asian Americans, and against LGBTQ+. And really, they want to stand up and fight hate with us against anyone who is different. So we all stand up together, as you do at United Hatzalah, to help all people. This is a movement that appeals to goodness, to idealism, embodying the teachings of Martin Luther King, who said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." So the beginning of Zechariah challenged us to build a kind of society where we can shout for joy. And the end of Zechariah tells us how. Change the human heart by being in a relationship that will bring out the best. You can't force decency. You can only nurture it. And that brings me back to why the work of United Hatzalah is the embodiment of this notion. United Hatzalah is also facing a world of fracture, divisiveness, and hate. but it brings out the best in a complicated world, one person at a time, one relationship at a time. And we saw it here on the stage tonight. It was touching, because when someone is in harm's way, within 90 seconds, there's a United Hatzalah ambulance. Jews save the lives of Arabs, Arabs save the lives of Jews, secular people save the lives of the religious, and religious people save the lives of secular. People see and respond. Yes, thank you. People see and respond to the spark of the divine that is in the soul of each one of us. That saves lives, that changes hearts, and that adds to the decency of our beloved Eretz Yisrael. Zechariah must have been thinking of United Hatzalah when he says in this week's Haftorah, Roni v'simchi bas Zion, shout for joy, fear Zion. Thank you, United Hatzalah, for your life-saving good work and for giving us something truly special to learn about. Am Yisrael Chai.
Another round of applause to the one and only Mr. Robert Kraft. I would like to call Dana and Daniel. Your children are here, your granddaughter. We're giving a special award. We would love you all to join us on stage. Danny, come join us. And your granddaughter? 2 granddaughters. Something very special. Emil Mimran, where are you? Emil, join us a second. Our newest edition of United Hatzalah Volunteer. I need a microphone. Microphone? All right, we have a special. Okay. Yeah, Uri Fadida, where are you? Uri Fadida, the artist. This is a piece of art from Am Yisrael, from Israel. We brought this from Israel. An Israeli artist made this specially. And this resembles United Hatzalah. And we'd love to have this in your home. And you'll see it, and every time you'll remember 1,200 people came here tonight to hear you speak about the Jewish nation and Tikkun Olam and how beautiful this nation is. And I really appreciate everything you do for us, for Israel, for United Hatzalah. Oh, here is the artist. Get in here. All right. Your granddaughters, you're going to pick up this reveal, what we have here. You have to schlep it back to Boston. The ambucycle of butterflies.
That represents freedom. Like all our people should have, those butterflies doing what they want when they want. Am Yisrael Chai, Toda Rabbah.
Somehow we have to get everyone in. We'll figure it out.